This is Journalist Hangout, and we're reaching you live from TVC News here in our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. And I have Mojid Jamiu and Chris Kendi Wando in the studio. To voice one's sentiments on issues is one thing. To face the deluge of reactions after it's another matter. Following the endorsement of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, former President Olusegun Obasanjo is facing backlash from that action. The presidential candidate of the new Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso, said it is wrong for any person who is considered a statesman to go about endorsing candidates ahead of the 25th of February presidential election. Speaking in Benin City, the Edo State capital, Kwankwaso advised Obasanjo and elder statesman Edwin Clark to stop disgracing themselves. Is this not too harsh? Rabiu Kwankwaso, former Minister of Defense under Olusegun Obasanjo, if you remember. Rabiu Kwankwaso of the People's Democratic Party when Obasanjo held sway as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, talking about the endorsement of Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Now he's saying that perhaps Obasanjo should be in the league of the likes of Abdul Salami Abubakar, the likes of Yakubu Gowon, that they are apolitical, that they talk like statesmen, and Obasanjo, true to his word, he has turned his political party membership of the People's Democratic Party. That's why the endorsement of the Labour Party candidate.
Yeah, Kwankwaso was not against Obasanjo endorsing Obi. What he said was, he said there are some people that they have considered elder statesmen that ought to earn that respect, that ought to be respected, that they should put themselves in positions where they should be respected. And he said, now put a caveat that the moment you continue to say things like that, then you are disgracing yourselves. So, I mean, he put it in a context. He didn't just say that they are disgracing themselves. He said people see them as people who should be, I mean, Yoruba would say, you should put yourself in a position where people will respect you. Obasanjo has never, applauded any government since 1979, except his own. He might start applauding you, but the moment he knows that he can no longer control you, then he will start abusing you. He will start writing letters. That has always been his modus operandi. But this time around, I think both the guys in APC and in PDP, they have been firing him from all cylinders. And I listened to one of the major players yesterday on one of the national TV stations. I think it was Festus Keyamo. He said, before the support Obasanjo gave to Atiku in 2019 was not because he loved Atiku. It was because he put it as a condition that Obi must be his running mate. That was why he supported Atiku, not because he loved Atiku. Because he has said the greatest mistake of his life was to have appointed Atiku as his VP. So it's not as if he loved Atiku. You see, 2023. And the moment Obi stops listening to Obasanjo, he will start writing letters and abusing him. That's the kind of person Obasanjo is. We
seem to be enjoying this kind of endorsements, a momentum across, It started from the Afenifere leader, that's Ayo Adebanjo. And from Ayo Adebanjo, followed him to Ibadan and President Israeli, and from Ayo Adebanjo to Obasanjo New Year's Day, and then now we have Chief Edwin Clark. Clark is a very respected figure in the Niger Delta.
Yes, AY. Let's ask ourselves some fundamental questions. if Olusegun Obasanjo has endorsed Kwankwaso, will he come out and say what he said about Obasanjo? That's fundamental. So he played the toga of a nationalist, you are an elder. Did he say this when Obasanjo endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015? He did. And we remember what happened when he fell out with Goodluck Jonathan. He endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari. Let us not diminish the person of. As far as personally, since 1999, Obasanjo has been the best president we ever had. Whether you like it or not, the record is there. You might dispute it. You might say he's not fallible. He's not that. He's a human being. He has his ups and downs. But when you come to patriotism and nationalism, you cannot take it away from Obasanjo. Yes, you may not like the way he talks, but don't forget, this is an army general. He says it the way it is, and that is it. Now, coming to the issue of, he's not like those that play, that behave like kangaroos that have their head dipped inside the sand and their body is open and they say they're hiding. Obasanjo, what some other people do in secret, Obasanjo will come out in the open and say it. He does not hide it. If he doesn't like you, doesn't like you, whether you like it or not. And that has been him. So I will not fault him. He has a right as an individual. That is a constitutional right. As a Nigerian, by the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, 1999, he has the right. He has the right to vote and be voted for, and he also has the right, just like Mojit can endorse anybody. He can endorse his very good friend CKN. Will you fault him for endorse? You can. If I'm going to Maurice, I want to contest in Imo State, in my state,
sure.
And which I know you have so many friends. Sure. Want to influence people in Imo State to vote for me? That is it. So why all this? And if that endorsement doesn't make any sense, why is it that the other political party are shouting?
Former presidents.
That is what I'm saying. You say, oh, it's not relevant. Is the one endorsed before? It's not relevant. What does it bring to the table?
Okay.
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. So what I'm saying in essence is that he has endorsed it. There are some people, most of our former leaders, that have endorsed some of these presidential aspirants, but they don't come out. I'll tell you that for free. There are so many of them. Name them. They are supporting them. Why? Because they believe that these people don't want to leave power. And that has always been the issue. Then coming to the issue of it, Obi has been lucky enough that most of the people that have endorsed him. But don't forget that even vulcanizers, mechanics, drivers, and the rest of them unions have been supporting and endorsing certain presidential candidates. And you cannot take away that from him. So
okay. Hassan is calling us from Lekki, Lagos.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Hassan.
Ayo.
Yes, go ahead.
And Majid and the other gentleman. You see, I disagree with the last speaker. Obasanjo's antic is the antic of enemy of my enemy is my friend. In 2019, let me put it in its proper perspectives. Obasanjo supported Atiku. He threw away all caution. Despite what he wrote in his book, he supported Atiku because he hated Muhammadu Buhari. So that is his own. As a statesman, he is responsible for his actions. He has the right to say whatsoever, but it is not in his place as a statesman, as a former head of state, to be making noise all the time. General Abu Salam Abubakar is there, he did not say anything. Babangida is there, he did not say anything. Even Jonathan did not say anything. Why him all the time? Look, he should take a humble fire. He should respect himself. He should not be seen preaching his tent with anybody. In 2015, 2014, he parted way with Jonathan, and he was forced to back Muhammadu Buhari. That has been his attitude all his life. So
thank you, Hassan.
Now,
looking at the advantage of this endorsement coming from Obasanjo, that's on Obi, how will it change the dynamics or political calculation?
I wish you didn't ask me this question. Obi should continue with his canvassing for votes and not rely on any endorsement for Obasanjo. Obasanjo has never won his polling units. In 1999, he lost his polling units. In 2003, he struggled by coercing people. So his electoral value is next to nothing, as far as I'm concerned. So it will be foolhardy for Obi to think that he can earn political mileage from Obasanjo's endorsement. That's the basic truth. And you see, Obasanjo is not in a position to tell us who we should vote for in Nigeria. Obasanjo started corruption in Nigeria by trying to earn a third time. Those who were in the National Assembly said so. He started bribing the National Assembly because he wanted a third term. And this is somebody that will come and be, as I'm saying that, he was faced with this question on Hard Talk, BBC. He turned it to a quarrel. The video is making the rounds now. People are coming back to remind him that you wanted a third term. Those in the National Assembly then, between 2003 and 2007, they are still alive. Dr. Bugaje was there. Professor Bolaji Akinyemi was on national television. He said it. He said, if you're saying we are moving from frying pan to fire today, you put us in that frying pan. So why are you coming to say as if you are the holiest than thou? So he should not come. We know his antics. I'll be 55 in a few weeks' time. So I understand. But those who are younger might not understand who Obasanjo is, but we know him. So he should, Obi should not take that.
Personally, and I'll repeat myself, it will be foolhardy for anybody to sit down here and say, Obasanjo has no influence. He does not, because he didn't win his polling vote. And the question you ask yourself, why is it that every presidential candidate that is coming out to contest goes to Abeokuta?
Yeah, they go everywhere. They go everywhere. They go everywhere. They go to all the statesmen.
If it's that irrelevant, how come that they are going to? I'm not saying that his endorsement is going to add any value to anybody. What I'm saying is that whether you like it or not, it is within his right. If that is what he wants to do, why not? If not, you are not just trying. You cannot just even a man. How many years does God? I don't know. Obasanjo is over 80. How many more years does Obasanjo have to stay? But the fact remains that the question I'll continue to ask: if it were any other presidential candidate that was endorsed by Obasanjo, will some of them still come out and say what they are saying? And that is the issue for me. But I still believe that each and every one of them should go about their campaign. Endorsement is done. It's not only by, even in the United States, everyone just came back from the US. Not Hollywood actors endorse presidential candidates. We have seen journalists, you saw what happened in Obama time, when this black, what's this woman, very popular black...
okay, let's quickly pick this call. Cornelius is calling us from Port Harcourt, River State.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to make comment concerning that Obasanjo's endorsement.
All right, quickly.
And some opinion that is saying that that has been his way. When he supported Jonathan, even Nigerians, we know that how government of Jonathan went. So if you supported somebody and you see that that person is deviating, will you continue to support him? No. That was when he endorsed Buhari, hoping that Buhari would be a better person. Now he endorsed Atiku Abubakar then. But now Obi is around. He has compared all of them, and see that Obi is a better option. He endorsed him. And people are saying other head of state has been there. One man said that the evil thrives in the society because of the silence of the good ones. It's not because of the evil of the bad, it's because the good ones don't want to talk. Since Obasanjo can talk, we should praise him that whenever he sees things, he says it. And people are saying he wanted to yes, he's a thief.
Okay. And finally, when a criminal